welcome tuning into my channel. This is Angela, and today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on the look I am wearing right now on my face. If you want to know how I achieved this look, please keep on watching. I'm going to use this green corrector to correct all my red tone blemish. And then I'm going to use Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Custard. I'm just gonna use my fingers doing this. So for under eye circle, I'm going to use a peach corrector. I'm using Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Y325. It's not like labeled for peach corrector, but this one do have that very strong peach undertone. So I'm gonna put this under my eyes and then blend it in with a 3D HD Precision brush from Sigma. For my foundation, I'm using a Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation stick. I believe I'm in the shade 118. It's a very full coverage foundation. In real life, it might be a little too heavy, but it looks really good in front of camera. And I'm going to blend my foundation with this round kabuki brush in F82 from Sigma. Excuse my hair, it looks crazy. So I just put the first layer on, and now I'm going to add another layer on my nose and here around my nose. So I'm going to dye my hair tomorrow. I'm thinking about a silver lavender ombre type of situation. I haven't bleached or dyed my hair for over like a year and a half, and I'm so excited. Now the foundation is on, I'm going to apply concealer. Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I'm going to use 20 light beige. I just put it under my eyes. Then I'm going to use light natural on the center of my forehead and the highest place on my cheekbone. I'm going to use the same brush to blend out my concealer. Now the foundation and concealer is on, I'm going to do a cream contour. Yes, I feel like I want to do a cream contour today. So I'm going to use NYX Wonder Stick in the shade light to medium. So what I like to do is using a small smudged brush. This one is from e.l.f. and just dip into the product and then place it where I want to place it. Doing this really gives you more control of where your product is going. And then for the shake, I just doing this because why not? And I'm just going to use a small e.l.f. concealer brush to blend the cream contour we just put under our cheekbone and jawline. Now I'm going to use a translucent powder from Rimmel. It's their Stay Matte Translucent Powder. Just dip into the pan and then place on my nose and then blend to make sure all the contour we just put on nice and blend. The key is to blend. Just blend.
One eternity later.
For the bouncer, I'm using Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. Just place normally where you're gonna place on the hollow of my cheek. Now for priming the lid, I'm using the same concealer we just used. I just dot it on my lid and carefully shape my brows with a flat concealer brush. Now I'm gonna use MAC Pro Long Wearing Paint Pon in the shade Painterly. I'm using a flat concealer brush as well and place on my lid. Then I'm using my Laura Mercier Translucent powder to set the lid, and I'm just using a very big, large, fluffy brush to do the job. I'm gonna use this beautiful palette from Makeup Revolution. It's the Emily Edition. The Once palette. It's a very beautiful palette. First, we are going to use the shade The Cream for our first base shade. And I just put this all over the eyelid. And then I'm gonna dip my brush in the shade Hubby. Blend into our crease. Then I'm going to use this warm brown shade. The brush I'm using is Morphe M441. I'm going to use to deepening the crease. And then I'm going to grab a tissue which works as a kind of shield on my outer corner. And then I'm going to use the shade Family, this very deep purple shade at my Sigma E40. I just place on the outer part of my eyelid. And then I'm going to take the shade Black Cry, this warm salmony coral, deep coral shade. Put it from the center of our lid toward the inner corner of our lid. And then I'm going to go back to the shade Family and place on the most inner part of my lid. And then I'm going to dip my Sigma E55 brush into the shade Hubby to blend out the edges. And I just place the color into the place and then start to blend. And then I'm going to take a very precise small blending brush. It is Sigma E36 and take the shade Hubby to blend. I'm going to use the shade Pizzazz. Place on the inner corner of my lid. Now I'm gonna dip my brush in the shade Top Story and place on the center of my eyelid. Now I'm going to take the shade Capricorn, place this shade very close to my lash line and wing it out slightly. And then for the lower lash line, I'm using a very short smudging brush, dip into the shade Hubby, tap off the excess, and just try to contour my under eye. And then I'm going to use the shade Apartment on the same brush, and I'm using a tissue like this, and place on my outer corner. And then back to the shade Laugh Cry. I'm gonna put the shade on the front region of my lower lash line and place this shade in my inner rim. You can see it's very vibrant here. Then I'm using a small ankle brush to dip in the shade Pizzazz. I don't know how to pronounce this. And just place this shade really close to my eyes. And then I'm going to dip into the shade Top Story and place that shade here. For the liner, I'm going to use Maybelline gel liner. I just draw a tip-on liner. Nothing special here. And then I'm using a liquid liner to wing it out. Then back to the shade Hubby. Now when I'm done, I'm going to finish the other eye off camera and I'll be right back in a second. Just like this. So I'm gonna put on some blush and highlight.
I'm so sorry for some reason this clip's just out of focus. Thank you guys for bear with me again. I'm so sorry.
And my lip and some lashes to complete this look. For the blush, I'm going to use Bare Peach from Burt. Just dip my brush into the pan and tap off the excess and then place on the top of my cheekbone and the apple of my cheek. It is a little powdery when you put your brush in the pan, so remember to tap off the excess. I'm going to put this one on top of the blush we just put on. This is Natural Glow from Precision Formula. It's their butter blush. It doesn't have a lot of color, it just has that beautiful sheen, give you that really healthy glow effect. For the highlight, I'm going to use xoxo from Colourpop. It's a very pretty golden shade. I'm just gonna use my finger and dab on the top of my cheekbone. So for my lip, I'm going to use Essence Long Lasting Lip Liner in the shade Lovely Frappuccino to light my lip. Then I'm gonna use my favorite liquid lipstick. It is Strip from Colourpop. I just dot on my lip. going to use Moonchild by Colourpop. It's their Ultra Glossy Lip Dot on the center. Then I'm going to put on some mascara on my lower lashes. I just realized I forgot to highlight my inner corner. So I'm gonna grab the shade Deep Rose. I'm gonna use this lilac purple shade to highlight my inner corner. It's such a beautiful, beautiful shade. So that completes the whole look, and I hope you guys enjoy this video as much as I do, and I will see you next time. Bye! Voila! I am done! I'm so happy. It is finally done. Like, oh, I can't.